I asked my dear viewers for a vegetable in terrible need of a makeover, and you guys said cabbage. I never thought of cabbage as a scary vegetable, but then again, I didn't grow up in an Irish family and haven't been scarred for life by boiled dinner. All we need to do is roast the cabbage and watch your family fight over each and every leaf. We'll cook 2 cabbages today, a regular green cabbage and a savoy cabbage that has these lacy leaves. I prefer not to wash my cabbage. Water is the enemy of browning, and I want to avoid getting it between the cabbage leaves. Luckily, only the outer leaves tend to be dirty. They also tend to be a bit dried up, so I peel them off and discard. Check the thick stems near the core. If they're at all dusty, wipe them with a damp paper towel and you're good to go. We'll start with the green cabbage. It might look unassuming, but it has the sweetest flavor and delightfully juicy stems. Cut the cabbage in half and get rid of the tough core. Now slice the cabbage into wedges by cutting through the core area on each slice. I use this cutting technique with many vegetables to achieve a fun textural contrast. The thin rib will be crispy and the thick part will be juicy. Arrange your cabbage on a shallow baking dish in a single layer and sprinkle with salt on both sides. The salt will get stuck between the leaves, so don't count on rubbing it in to even out. Sprinkle from way up high to get an even distribution from the start. Now drizzle very generously with olive oil. I use about 1/3 to 1/2 cup. The oil tends to get through the layers of cabbage to the bottom, so if you wiggle the wedges around, you'll get a pretty good distribution. Spread it out on top a bit too to achieve even browning. Place on the bottom rack of preheated 400-degree oven for about 30 minutes or until the bottom of the wedges browns. Carefully flip with a spatula. You'll need to gently support each wedge with your hand from the top to prevent them from falling apart. If the outer leaves look too charred, it's best to remove them at this point. Unfortunately, I never managed to save them till the mealtime. They're too tempting to eat right then and there. Return your cabbage to the oven until the second side browns. It won't take as long as the first side, so check up on it after 10 to 15 minutes. If your cabbage wedges fell apart a bit, don't worry. All these loose leaves are delicious and can be rolled up into cabbage roses. You can serve this cabbage as a side dish, but it can also be turned into a fabulous first course. Some fun pairing ideas are white bean puree, hummus, Greek yogurt, or sour cream. Lots of options. These leaves are so crunchy. And here's one of our roses. If you like roasted Brussels sprouts, wait till you taste this. I'm surprised that I don't see this preparation in restaurants more often. It's like the biggest, baddest roasted Brussels sprout, only sweeter. Now let's talk about savoy cabbage. We'll cook it exactly the same way, but cut it slightly differently. Although savoy is excellent cut into wedges, its thin leaves and ribs lend themselves nicely to a ribbon shape. Cut it crosswise into 1-inch thick circles and don't even worry about the core. It will be easy to remove in the end. I salted and oiled it already, but was worried the oil won't make it to the bottom since these pieces are so large. So I added a glug of oil under each cabbage wheel. Same deal with cooking. Brown both sides at 400 degrees and you're done. I'll cut out the core from the few bottom pieces and break it all up into ribbons. Looks like pappardelle. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? What if we add some buttered pappardelle to the cabbage ones? Twirl it all up, a little parmesan and parsley, and dinner is served. So buttery, so so savory, just awesome. For more vegetable makeovers, don't forget to subscribe to Helen's Kitchen channel. And if you are ever in the Boston area, maybe I'll see you in one of my classes.